Um, I've got a question because I'm currently serving as a special constable with Nottinghamshire, and they just opened a position to become regular. In the past, they have options to switch from SPC to PC, but I'm just thinking, should I just, while serving as a special, should I join, like apply through regular position, or should I just wait for another intake from specials to regulars? Because Um, I've applied for regulars last year, but my job has changed the circumstances, and I couldn't just carry on with my applications anymore. But I used really similar answers that I used to become special, and they said like I've been shortlisted this time, but I can just rework my answers, and then we're gonna pass my application further. But I'm just completely withdrawing my all applications, thinking that I need to figure out my job first, and then I'm gonna apply regular next year. So my question is, would you rather recommend to apply for regular intake that's just coming up, or just stay and be in a special waiting for another intake if is that will happen like maybe end of this year?
So let's move on to what might be the last question from Durand, who was asking about, where is he? Still there? You still there, Durand? Yeah.
Yes, I'm listening. I'm still there.
So you're special constable at the moment in a force that has a um, a method of enabling special constables to join the police without having to jump through quite so many of the hoops. Now, as far as I'm aware, you still need to do the national SIFT in the online assessment centre because that's something legislated for and it's governed by the College of Policing. But things like final interview or uh, the sort of medical fitness and vetting, there's ways of fast tracking you through it. So it's quite a popular option. I'm not quite sure why other forces aren't adopting this. I know the Met do as well. I think it's a great process, but the problem you've got is you don't know when that next opportunity is going to be, do you?
That's the thing, and I'm having my own business, and I'm having my own business for the past 5 years, and I'm coming to similar situation with Adam. Like I've been doing for something for quite a long time, and it's not I don't have that flexibility that I can just sold my business today and join full time tomorrow. That's why I test the water being special first.
Yeah, yeah, got you.
And and I like it and I want to join full time because turns out that was just giving me exactly what expectations actually what I was expecting.
Yeah,
The problem is with my business now, and if I could just have the intake from special, I can just plan ahead because I could have more informations. But they saying they don't know whether it's going to happen, and also similar problem with Adam. Like if I'm gonna apply now for full for regulars, and then I have to sell my business, I don't have much time to you know sort it everything's on time because in my line of business is just when I'm going to sell the business, I need to introduce the potential owner to the customers. Otherwise, it's pointless to
yeah,
buy in that business
yeah.
because it's all about the customer relationships.
Yeah, no, get you. Yeah, it'd be like me if I was selling my business, the Bluelight consultancy, would actually be quite hard because the business is pretty much, I'm the brand, I'm the
Yeah,
brand. So I get that. I get that. Again, requires a leap of faith at some point. There's no way around it. It requires some kind of leap of faith at some point. What I would do though, what I would recommend is because look, we don't know what the numbers are going to look like in the next financial year. Year, we're in January now, but the financial year runs from beginning of April to the end of March, and we've not heard a lot from the Chancellor of the Exchequer about funding for the police, have we? And the reason being is that the police have already had a ton of money to uplift. They've had millions and millions and millions to uplift the numbers to where we are now. So I don't think the government's in any mood really to be giving the police lots more money, especially when the NHS is crumbling and schools really are crumbling, aren't they? They're physically crumbling. So the police are not the top of the pile in terms of the priorities that are going to get any money. So I know there's chiefs out there already who are talking about having to make cuts. I don't think it's going to be as bad as austerity, but I don't think, I think for some forces it's going to be close to. And so what this is going to do is it's going to do exactly what happened 10, 12 years ago during austerity, where it just got harder and harder to join the police because there was fewer vacancies and just as many people applying for those positions. So where am I going with this? Apply now. Just apply.
By now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just apply. Don't
And
wait.
see where it goes.
Yeah, because that special constable route may not exist. It may have met its death knell already. They may have decided that actually it didn't quite work out, or it worked out that just one-off time. It was too much hassle. We're not going to run it again, because the idea being is that you don't need as much training as well. So I don't know what evaluation they've done of the process to determine whether it's actually got merit and worth and value. So
In my forces, basically the special officer needs to be independent patrol, and then you can ask for to be transferred to be regular. But there's more, 9 times of 10 you have to go through all the training again, 6 months of training at the police
so
school. So
I would just apply, just do it. For all of you who are listening to this now, whether it's on the replay or whether it's in the here and now, if you've got any doubt about the best time to apply, it's always now. Because we don't know what cuts are coming around the corner. We don't know who's going to be in power in the next government. If it's a Labour government, they're already pledging to increase the number of police officers, in which case it might be happy days, another uplift. Or they may pledge to do that, and they may say, but it's going to be in the latter part of our government. So it might be like 5 years away from now. We just don't know. And at the moment, as Theresa May said years ago, there is no magic money tree. And I saw what happened with austerity sort of 10 or 12 years ago. And a lot of forces just stopped recruitment. Now, I've spoken to so many people in recruitment who've said we're not going to make that mistake again. Because what happened was training school closed down, all the tutors went on to do different things. So when they started the recruitment off again, they had problems because all of the back end that was needed to support the process didn't exist anymore. So they had to sort of start afresh, some forces. So what most of them have said they're going to continue doing is recruiting, but in lower numbers. Other forces, like the Met at the moment, they're not even meeting anything like their recruitment target. So, they're going to recruit like crazy. It depends on the force. It's all supply and demand. So if they're recruiting at the moment, my advice would be just get your name in, go for it, just go for it. If at the end of the process you thought it's just not convenient for me and I'm just not going to be able to make the transition, then you can do something called have a conversation to see if you can defer your, like with Adam, defer your appointment for another 6 months. Or you could they could turn around and say it's now or never. It's now or you withdraw your application. In which case withdraw your application, but you've still got a national SIFT and online assessment centre that's valid for 2 years. So there might be other forces that are recruiting. So there's neighbouring forces that you might want to give a go. Or you may have your sights set on the force that you're in and no other force. But you'll always create more options. Whereas if you just sit and wait, well, you could be sitting waiting for a long time. My advice in the policing world is always grab the opportunity when it presents itself, and then you're going to create some options for yourself. And the person who's got the most options is capable of making the best decisions. So hopefully that's helpful for you, Durand. Is that something you're going to look to do? Just apply, just get going.
yeah, I think I'm just gonna apply as well, and then see when the training actually gonna start. If it's gonna actually start like June, July, that will give me enough time to plan ahead, to make some preparations to sort the business and just jump into it.
Yeah, just go for it. But bear in mind that they may say that our planned intake date is July, and then you may find that actually it's going to be October now, or actually that intake's full now. The next one's not going to be until March 2025.
Yeah, I hate that
Yeah,
before. Yeah, I hate that
yeah.
before.
Derbyshire Constabulary at the moment, as an example, if you're successful in Derbyshire in the process now, you'll be waiting 18 months plus for an intake date. So straight away we're seeing some forces already. They've just got enough. They've got enough officers, potential officers in the pipeline. So even if you're successful at everything, you've got an 18-month wait. And if you're thinking, my goodness, that's the longest I've ever heard of. It's not the longest I've heard of. Surrey Police had people hanging around in the recruitment process that passed everything, made them wait 3 years. This was several years ago, only to write to them to say, actually, we've just not got a place for you. Humberside police, although Humberside have switched us around now, they're a lot better. But Humberside police, about 6 or 7 years ago, 5 years ago, had some of my clients waiting almost 3 years. I remember one of them saying I could have gone to university and got a degree in the amount of time I've been waiting to join the police. So, nothing is ever certain. It really isn't. Until you've got that warrant card in your pocket, nothing's ever certain. But you'll never know, will you? You'll never know unless you give it a go. And
Exactly.
at your end, if you've got more options, you're capable of making the best decisions. If you don't have any options, you can't make the decisions. So my advice, go for it. Throw your heart and soul into it. Make it your very life's purpose to join the police, and do all the planning you need to do, all the preparation that you need to do, all your practice that you need to do, and you will pass.
Thank you very much for your answer, Brendan.
Especially with my guidance as well. There's a shameless plug, especially with my guidance, because that's what I'm good at doing. That's what I'm good at doing.